and it's great to have him here to share his experience. Andrea from Agriturismo Pimpinnacolo in Tuscany. Welcome, Andrea, to MTB Talks.
Thank you very much. Let's see if I can do the presentation in English, although our slides are in Italian. So this is where we are. We're on the coast of Tuscany, at the southern end of Tuscany, right, really next to Rome. Can you maybe zoom in a little bit? Oops. Well, it doesn't matter. Anyway, one of the, yeah, there you go. So this is, I just wanted you guys to see this because it's interesting that we are basically a mountain in the sea. So for mountain biking, it seemed like a logical choice for us. Scusa. Right, this is where we are, and our project is to turn it into a bike destination. Little numbers, these are probably old by now, but this is the only things that we could get. 50 billion euros in terms of invoicing within the European Union of the bike economy for something that is about 500 billion in general business. So one of the aspects that was interesting for us was, we are originally, and this is going to come in a later slide, a tourist attraction for people that go to the sea. So, beachgoers and people that go on boats and stuff. But our peculiarity is that we were essentially closed, 8 months out of the year, because we only have a 4-month-long season, a little bit like what you have in the mountains, but the opposite. And so we are originally, like a luxurious type of venue. So we have a lot of tourism that is already there for high-level experiences. We have very high-level luxury hotels, yachts, and stuff like that comes along. People go on rides in helicopters, fine dining, amazing food. This is Tuscany we're talking about. But again, we were a little agriturismo, and we were stuck with having to be only open 4 months out of the year. This is our region. Again, we're a 60 square kilometer mountain in the sea. It's connected to the land by 2 main roads. We're an hour and 15 minutes away from the airport in Rome. We are along the railroad on the coast, major highways. We are, 2 hours away from Florence, 2.5, Siena, Rome. So the position is great. The climate is amazing. It's hot in the summer, but the rest of the time we don't get any snow. Our terrain is rocky, which is great for mountain biking. What else? And it rains very little. We don't really get mud anyway, because the terrain is rocky, so all the water flows away. According to Trailforks, we have 197 trails. I think that's a bit too much, or maybe some of these trails are like long from here to there. So you'll see later on that our venue is beautiful, but completely virgin in terms of mountain biking. We like to think, everybody in Italy or around the world is probably going to say this, but the potential is to have a great, if not, it says the most beautiful bike destination in Italy. Certainly one of them. Again, a lot of history, a lot of culture everywhere. It's great for mountain biking, but I already said all of this. And yes, and now we're starting to have mountain biking and biking related competitions. So we're going to have the cross-country, one of the cross-country world championships next year, in 2025 for the next 3 years. There's something called Maremma Challenge that some of the guys that are here organize, and it's an amazing event. It goes around the southern part of Tuscany called Maremma. The Gran Fondo is a local competition that just turned national, so it's starting to become exciting. This is us. It's the presentation of our thing, but there's a video that I'm going to show you right now. Maybe. There you go. So, sorry, I just cut it short because there's more of that going on. I figured it was better to speak about this a little better. So I think this is something I really want to talk to you about, because as a newcomer to the MTB world, what we figured, again, for us, it was a matter of what can we do in an, you saw in the video, this is beautiful parts of the country with like pristine forests, and it's very nice. And so what can we do that is eco-friendly and that makes sense to us to do, that also develops business and, you know, the local social environment. And so I was telling you last night to somebody, I met a kid a few years back who was taking tours on mountain bikes and taking tourists around. And I think it was 2017 or 2018 when mountain biking started to grow thanks to e-bikes, that he was starting to have a lot of customers. So he ended up buying 10 or 15 mountain bikes. And the year after, I guess more people were doing the same. And so from like 20 tours, he went down to 4, and he went bankrupt, and he lost all of his bikes, and now he works in a supermarket. So this is a sad story. But for me, it was a matter of, how do I approach this? And so I went to these guys that are sitting here. A lot of you know them. Ernesto Hutmacher, he has been in Massavecchia, which is like, for central Italy, the mountain bike mecca. And he's developed for over 40 years their venue and their site. And they changed the economy of Massavecchia from, you know, something that was a little bit of a tourist attraction in Tuscany to something that works basically 10 months out of the year. So I went to these guys, you know, whatever, we eventually became friends, and they told me what we needed to do. And so we started doing this, and we are at the very beginning of this trip. I am very happy to say that what we invested, we finished our first investment to turn our agriturismo into a bike-friendly, you know, like a bike hotel, if you will. Although we're not a hotel, we're like a farming hotel kind. I don't even know what the English word is, agriturismo anyway. We're having our first bike tours from Germany in November. Typically for us, November, we're closed. Well, I mean, we're open, but nobody's there. And so this is what we did. We changed, you know, we did what she was saying, you know, we have proper storage units for the bikes, washing stations, a shop where you can go fix your bike and stuff like that, charging stations and everything else. We invested in marketing and in a little bike park, which is our own little private bike park. And you'll see a slide after that. This is the end goal of what we would like to do. What you see inside the lines is basically all private property. So hopefully we will have less of a problem developing it in terms of permits and everything else. Although, as you all know by now, in Italy, it's very difficult to build new trails because all the regulation makes it almost impossible, but we're adamantly putting pressure on the local authorities to enable us to do so. This is what we built just for our customers, and ideally we'll open that to outsiders as well. But right now it's just for customers, so it's a very nice flow line that the guys from Amiata did. You'll have a little short video about that in a second. Skill park and a pump track. Marketing, as I said before, we're doing campaigns on Google Ads, Facebook, Instagram, everything else. But you all know the power and value of bike magazines. So these guys were good enough to come. Thanks to them again, we organized a trail building week in March last year. We weren't even done with all the works that we had to do, but it was amazing and people were enthusiastic. We got great reviews. And it got us started. This is, the building of the flow line, and these are the guys that did it. So this is what we have. And I'll leave this on for like a second just to say that I have learned this already, and I see this today and yesterday and tomorrow, hopefully a lot more. You guys are really a tight-knit community of people that are super enthusiastic. And this is such an added value for someone who's trying to develop, a location that is way bigger than what we had anticipated. I am really, really excited and happy that thanks to them and these guys, we are joining forces. Our marketing is often combined. We bounce on one another to help each other out. And it's not the case in most other industries. This is not really an industry, but it's also an industry. This is where we're at right now. I think it's important to say that Argentario right now, again, it's historically a great place for people that want to go to the beach or go on boats and stuff like that. Mountain biking is at year one. It's not quite year zero, but year one, which is an offset for us because it makes my job more difficult. I have to convince a lot of people. I have to put people in rooms. I have to get money. I have to get funds. I have to get people to change the legislations or come up with new legislation to enable us to do trails and stuff. But it's a gigantic opportunity because we don't have bike stores. We don't have guides. We don't have people that will teach other people how to ride bikes. So everything has to be done. There's a lot of people that are enthusiastic about bikes. So we have a lot of local kids and not so maybe grown-ups really, because a lot of them are 50 and 60. But the potential is unbelievable. But everything else is to be conquered. So you guys want to come to Argentario and do, start operations, we'll welcome you with open arms. Okay, this is something we talked about at length when we figured, okay, we have to develop this as a bike destination. So that goes for us as private owners. So but we're only a portion of the entire mountain. And we're talking a lot with the local administration. They're enthusiastic about this, but we are not quite there yet. So trails, we have to develop, there is existing trails. It's a good thing that a lot of them are natural trails. They're difficult, so that is only accessible to a small portion of riders. But it's what makes the flavor unique, just like you were saying this morning. There's very specific to our kind of mountain and our kind of land. But everything else is not there, or at least very little is. Again, we're working together with the local authorities to try and figure out how to come up with local legislation that will enable us to do new trails. It's not a one battle yet, but we're hopeful about it. We need to develop, like après-ski info point type of places, So as someone was saying before, the terzo tempo, like after, bike rides, you want to all hang out and have a few beers and talk about what you did the day and what you're going to do tomorrow and stuff like that. We have places we could turn those into, but right now they're not. This is also very important, and I don't have the website with me, but if someone gets hurt and you're developing a new bike destination, you need to be able to take that into consideration so that you don't burn the venue. What those guys did in Massavecchia in Tuscany is to set up an entire trail area with these type of signs. And basically, there's a geolocation on sign number 1, because a lot of the parts don't have cell phone reception, and so we want to implement the same kind of thing. And if you just call in, what this tells you is where you are and where the next station is going to be, where you actually have cell phone reception. So if somebody falls and has an accident, someone can walk back 200 meters and call, because they will have cell phone reception, and tell the ambulance where you are. And so they will know, this is something done together with the region of Tuscany. They will know where post number 1 is and come and rescue you. Maintenance, we need to do, we are planning on developing exchange parking stations where you can bring your car, maybe charge your bike and do that kind of stuff. And then, basically everything else that for you is granted, but for us, it's completely new. This is our slide about public administration. They are enthusiastic about it. But again, public administration in Italy is something that has a very slow inertia. So we're really doing a lot of work trying to get them to act fast. They're doing some things, like they're actively involved in the cross-country Olympic series that they're coming over. They're doing. They're building right now. Actually, they are building it. The last stretch of Ciclabile, which is like the bike lane that connects the two main villages that are on Argentario and the mainland. And they're also listening to us a lot about what it is that we need to do. So all the things that are on here is something that they say they really want to help us do. They have money. They have access to funds and grants and things like that. And I think down the line, we may be able to see some of that. And maybe they seem to be convinced that this is something that they should do. It's a great way to create new jobs, to have more tourism in an eco-friendly and sustainable way. I'm waiting for them around the corner to, put their money where their mouth is, so to speak. This is, just to show you what they did in Massavecchia, which is what we want to replicate over there, because combining, biking, sports, and culture and arts is something that is definitely endemic to Italy in general, certainly in Tuscany. And I think it's attractive for people to come and like enjoy a great day riding and then have a few beers and listen to good music. Yeah, there's a S missing, but that's it. This is us.
Grazie Andrea. Stai pure qua, vediamo se ci sono delle domande, se no qualcuno. Andiamo verso la fine, quindi vedo che stanno calando le domande proprio statisticamente. No, ti chiedo io qualcosa, visto che sono qua, approfitto. Non so se me lo sono perso, lo sviluppo dei nuovi trail sarà aperto anche non agli ospiti, non solo agli ospiti, anche esterni?
Sì, scusate, questo è un concetto sul quale stiamo lavorando. Chiaramente non è che vogliamo fare un'area chiusa, anche perché sono 600 ettari di montagna. Quello che vogliamo riuscire a capire è come combinare le cose. Al momento il piano prevede che facciamo una sorta di consorzio, un ente che sia pubblico e privato insieme, che ci consenta di avere un'emanazione del Consiglio Comunale che certifichi, no, la bontà e l'onestà e la trasparenza del tutto, però l'ideale sarebbe, anche per evitare i problemi con la proprietà privata di cui parlavano i ragazzi un paio d'ore fa, di fare in modo che il consorzio di chi beneficia di più di questa trail area, quindi di albergatori, tra cui noi, i ristoratori e quant'altro, i negozianti, paghino una fee per un postiletto della struttura o quello che sia, che serva a mantenere i trail, a formare le persone e a dare un quid, che non saranno mai tanti soldi, però magari a chilometro, ai proprietari dei terreni. Siccome il Monte Argentario è principalmente privato, se non passi da questa cosa qua ti fermano subito, quindi al momento tutti quelli con cui ci siamo interfacciati sono d'accordo con questo concetto. In più c'è un'altra cosa che secondo me è un proprietario di terreno, perché quello che è successo spesso, immagino che sia così dappertutto in Italia, dove ci sono tanti terreni privati e che magari 20 ettari sono degli eredi del contadino e sono 8 persone e non ci faranno mai nulla perché è tutto vincolato, non è che ci costruisce lo chalet o la villa. Allora quello che puoi fare è che vai da questi qui che adesso hanno un terreno che non so, non ci fanno niente, che non ha valore, tu vai lì e dici guarda, io mi prendo la responsabilità legale e civile del trail, lo mantengo io, lo pago io, faccio tutto io, tu becchi dei soldi, non so, quello che sarà, adesso non abbiamo dato un valore specifico, e intanto fai questo. Meglio prendere, non so, 5.000 euro, dico una cifra qualsiasi, per una cosa che non ha valore che non prendere niente. Ci saranno quelli che diranno di sì, quelli che diranno di no. Il nostro vantaggio qui è che avendo un bel pezzo della montagna possiamo scrostare come si dice, la resistenza di questa cosa, perché se già cominci poi gli altri ti vengono dietro per forza, perché non... Perché solo loro? Anch'io voglio il trail che mi fa guadagnare 5.000 euro sul nulla.
Ok. Bene. Aspetta che abbiamo domanda qua. Vai.
In quanto tempo pensate di riuscire a sviluppare una serie, insomma, di trail che siano appetibili per uno che venga giù? E poi se vi siete ispirati all'idea di Massa Vecchia oppure avete anche qualche altra idea, perché parlando verrebbe quasi da dire è una piccola Madeira quella roba lì, no? Non so se è presente il caso, non sei... Beh, è un'isola in cui hanno sviluppato un sacco di trail che a picco sul mare, cose del genere. No?
E aggiungo il fatto che a Madeira c'è la criticità principale, che all'interno c'è la foresta di Laurisilva, che è patrimonio UNESCO, quindi problematica di lavorare in una zona che è patrimonio UNESCO, ma loro ce l'hanno fatta anche considerando il fatto che sono più realtà.
Tanti terreni privati anche lì, perché è tutto di contadini, di famiglie, di cose.
E allora, poi aggiungo una cosa, quando è nata l'idea di Monte Argentario Bike Destination, appunto mi allaccio a quello che ha chiesto lui, il timing che nel vostro, diciamo, nel mondo ideale pensate possa arrivare a un primo step concreto?
Allora, al momento noi abbiamo appunto, secondo Trail Forks, sono 150, 160, non so, trail che già sono esistenti, quindi c'è se vuoi, un network di trail che già sono attrattivi, quindi per cominciare ci è sembrato possibile farlo senza doverci inventare chissà cosa. Quanto ci metteremo dipende tantissimo chiaramente dall'amministrazione locale. Ora loro stanno, entro dicembre dovrebbero fare questo nuovo piano operativo, ne abbiamo parlato tantissimo con loro e ci hanno detto in maniera anche quasi ufficiale se le nuove norme non saranno quello che vi serve, fate delle osservazioni e cerchiamo di venirvi incontro il più possibile. Poi, lo sapete meglio di me, l'Italia è un posto strano e quindi magari calcola che tutti i trail che esistono adesso sono tutti ex mulattiere o più o meno, poi ci saranno anche quelli abusivi, non so, però insomma esatto, l'idea è un po' quella lì. Allora se questa cosa si fa in tempi, diciamo che entro un anno magari abbiamo questo strumento normativo, allora vuol dire che nei prossimi 2 o 3 anni noi possiamo investire degli altri soldi e fare questi trail.
Bene, grazie.
C'era qualche altra cosa?
C'è qualche altra domanda?
Domande?
Sono grazie, diversi sassi, insomma, e ci sono delle pendenze importanti e quindi l'idea, diciamo, come dicevano, insomma, si parlava anche prima dell'esempio di Bentonville, è importante creare una sentieristica che è per tutti, no? Quindi più linee verdi, proprio per attrarre più family possibile. E quello che sta facendo Andrea con il Pimpinnacolo, giusto, è quello di dare un'offerta a queste famiglie. Quindi per questo abbiamo pensato, oltre a questo primo rock mantico, il primo sentiero, ma tanti altri, di creare appunto la flowline, di creare la pump track modulare, di fare lo skills park in modo tale che si possano accogliere le prime famiglie di bikers e piano piano convincere anche gli altri operatori a investire nella bici. No?
Esatto.
Bene, grazie ancora, un giro di applausi anche per Andrea, grazie.